welcome to Friday's lesson, our last lesson of this half term, and it's on non-fiction. We're looking at a fact sheet on moths because our whole poetry sessions have been all about the darkness and moths, and I thought this would link in really nicely. So we're going to finally look at this, and we've got some really beautiful illustrations of moths that again you might like to use for your illustration of your poem when you write it up. So I'm just going to talk you through some of this, and then you're going to have a go at some of the questions on the sheet that I'm going to show you and you'll find on today's lesson. So, fact sheet, moths. Moths are insects of the order Lepidoptera. Lepidoptera is, you probably have never heard of it, the order. Does anyone, I'm wondering if you know what that means, the order Lepidoptera. Well, all insects were classified, they were put into groups, so the order is a little bit like being in a group, and they were often named by people using Latin names, so they are called Lepidoptera. So they are closely related to butterflies, and they've evolved from them, so you understand the concept of evolution and evolving. And you've got this many species of moths, 10 times the number of butterflies worldwide, so that's pretty amazing, and that many in the UK. So you've got your opening statement. Then we've got the comparisons, the differences. So you can read all about that. The moth antennae look like little feathers. So if you look really closely at an antenna, you might find one on the internet. They look very feathery. They're quite incredible. And they're unlike the club-like antennae of butterflies. So if you look here, you can see that sort of feathering. Sometimes you can see very large moths in the summer if you're lucky. I remember one landed on my wall once on a very sunny day, and you could see these beautiful huge wings and their antennae, and they've got scent receptors, so they follow scents so they can find food and partners, and it's all about detection, that they can find a mate 7 miles away because they've got an exceptional sense of smell. And then it's about their wings and the differences with the wings, and then the differences between moths and butterflies, the colour and the dull coloration. Very often they are quite dull, but if you look at this one here, you'll see that it's got incredible patterns. You know, butterflies tend to have more striking colors, but moths have, their patterns are so much more exciting. Then they're talking about them being nocturnal, you know, obviously meaning coming out at night, and here we have the example of what we've been talking about in poetry and the reasons why they come out at night, with the link to the idea of the light of the moon helping them navigate. So lights often confuse them, they think it's the moon, they feel that they should be going towards them. Then we're talking about predators, what eats them, and the caterpillars. You know, look at the size of that caterpillar. Crikey, that's huge, isn't it? Mind you, it might be tiny, it might be just really magnified, but it is quite exceptional to be looked at. And then they talk about various aspects of being eaten, unfortunately. The fact that they are, as caterpillars, we all know caterpillars can eat through your cabbage leaves, so they often eat through many crops that farmers grow, and also in your house, so you have to be really careful about moths, especially by your jumpers. They seem to love eating through jumpers, and you sometimes get these tiny holes which then become very large holes in your jumpers if you have moths in your cupboards. Then we move on to carpet moths. They are, you know, if you look, they lay their eggs and they leave their larvae, and they can eat holes in your carpets too. They love wool. But some then are farmed as a crop almost, which is surprising. If you can find anything about a silkworm moth and explain how silk is made, that would be excellent, because there'll be lots of information on the internet. It's quite an extraordinary process. Then we have the life cycle. We've all seen life cycles, you know, used before in science to explain, and I'd like you in your questions to explain the life cycle, and then the idea of night and pollination and what it does, and finally their lifespan. So you've got lots of questions here to read as a reader. I'll make that bigger for you. So I'd like you to answer these questions and then explain at the end. And you know, when it's explain, it means answer in more than one sentence. Some of them are direct questions, some of them are numerical numbers, and then you know, really please look at how many ways I'm asking you to do things. What, you know, look for predators might not be one, it'd be more than one. Okay, explain fully why moths are sometimes seen as best. Give 3 examples. So try and answer completely fully if you can. Anyway, that's today's lesson, and I hope you will enjoy it, and we will finish the week off doing a bit of non-fiction research, so that's fantastic, and send in your answers as soon as you can. Remember, over half term you're going to have a bit of a break, have a rest. You know, everyone's been working so hard, and you know, well done. We've got through this half term really well. I know following the English has been a bit hard, but you know, hopefully we'll be all back together very, very soon. So thank you for keeping up with me. Thank you for sending in your work. Thank you for sending me your lovely Zoom meetings, joining us on those. It's been great to see you, and I can't wait to see you again soon. Take care.